Well, Nebraska has one running back commit in the fold in Connor Booth from the state of Nebraska. And now a second running back potentially will enter the fold in the 2025 class. Jamarion Parker is the guy I'm speaking of, as you see down below me. He is a guy who decommitted from Arkansas and has been trending Nebraska's direction ever since. First things first, my name is Justin Adams. I am a content creator here at Nebraska Football at the Voice of College Football. Words are hard. If you like what I'm doing here, please consider liking, subscribing, drop your comments, and let me know what you think. Also, drop your comments and let me know as I go through the film which running back currently on the roster that Jamarion Parker's film reminds you of. And I will reveal that later in the video. At the end of the video, I'll go through pros and cons, etc. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into the nitty gritty. And first things first, I'm going to take you through the backstory and catch you up to speed on what's been going on with Jamarion so far. Now, Jamarion, again, formerly committed to Arkansas, decommitted in March after their running back coach left to go to TCU. He visited Nebraska, and then Nebraska immediately started getting the momentum his direction. Now, they will still have to battle TCU. I believe he's still visiting TCU June 1st. However, a crystal ball came in a couple days ago that has Nebraska firmly in the lead. So I don't know if that's indicating to a potential commitment, but it will be in Nebraska's best interest to get him to commit in this summer. So that way, before more teams can enter the fold and get really into his radar, because he is continuously climbing up in terms of recruiting rankings. So that's something to keep an eye on. Keep an eye on TCU and these other schools that may enter in. Now, Jamarion Parker, what gives me a lot of faith in Jamarion Parker is he's very big on relationships, especially with the running back coaches. Now, we have a guy who decommitted from Arkansas because the coach went over to TCU. So for Nebraska to be able to jump into the fold after that and be able to build the relationships that they have, and I'll go into what his coach and him said in a second, and kind of almost steal the thunder from TCU, that just shows this staff's ability to build these relationships quickly and build authentic relationships that these players are buying into. Now, again, TCU also has a very good relationship with him, but he specifically mentioned Nebraska and how Nebraska has made him a top priority. He said they've been consistently on him, and he's bonded a lot with E.J. Barthel, the current running back coach at Nebraska. And again, the staff's treating him like a top priority, somebody who's going to be a big, big part of this offense going forward and this team going forward. Again, he's very versatile. He can do a lot of different things. And he said the coaches make sure that you know that they want you and that you mean something to them. And that is very, very big in Jamarion Parker's mind, because specifically what him and his coach stated are very, very similar in that regard as to what they were both looking for. Now, in terms of what his coach said about his game, he's dynamic, he's explosive, he's able to make nothing out of something. He can make something that's wrong right. You can see where he can add another 15 to 20 pounds. So he is a guy who can do a little bit of everything. Again, he's not too banged up in terms of his injury history, in terms of the amount of touches he gets, but he averaged over 11 yards per carry in high school, 1,644 yards and 22 touchdowns on 147 carries with that 11.2 yard average. So explosive, dynamic player. He also caught 16 passes for 267 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's a track guy with a 10.99 100-meter dash. But not only is there track speed, the speed translates to the football field, as you will see on the film. So let's go ahead and get into the film without further ado. And then again, remember, drop your thoughts in the comments on who you think he reminds you of as we go through the film here. Let me take Jamarion off the screen here for you. All right, let's go ahead and get into some of this film here for a second. All right, so first things first that you'll notice here, a lot of outside runs, but once he gets up to speed, he's very much a player who will outrun you, as you can see. He is a guy who will run around you a lot of times. And one of those things that we want to be able to see when he gets into college football, he's not going to be able to run around everybody. So we do want to see him be able to take contact and be able to fight through contact, considering he was averaging 11 yards per carry. Didn't have to fight through a ton of contact. Now, you see a little bit here. Now, one of the hallmarks of a running back, especially a running back that is going against a team that stacks the box, he's going to have to be able to make guys miss. And he's going to have to be able to rely on his lateral quickness. And you could have the perfect play drummed up. However, if you're outnumbered, there's going to be an opportunity where that running back, it's going to be on him to make sure that he makes a guy miss so he can make that explosive play happen. And that's a little bit of what you'll see as we go through this here. Again, this is a 3-3-5 look, 4-3 kind of look here. And he's able to make this guy miss, get through, good vision, get in space. And again, it's off to the races. Tough to catch, 10.99 track speed, translates over to the football field. Sometimes that doesn't happen. Moving into this play, again, another stacked box. He's able to get through. That's the vision that I'm going to be talking about here in a little bit. So watch him find the hole in this line and slips through it. Now, we'll get into a little bit of his lateral quickness, but over there, you'll see him also run through contact. That's another thing you want to see because a college running back has to be able to run through contact. Arm tackles, he has to be able to keep his legs driving. You want him to finish runs. And here, even with with arm tackle coming around him, again, it's not a lot of contact, but he's able to keep his legs moving, run through the arm tackle, get up to speed. His acceleration's great. His top speed is electric. And here, again, a little bit of the vision, getting through there into the open field, running around guys. A lot of good blocking here. You can see why that average is at 11.2 yards per carry. Going to get into another play here. It looks like a lot of teams are stacking the box against him to stop, which is something he had to deal with a lot on his film in that season. Again, another outside run. They like to get him to the outside. They like to do a little bit of zone reads with him. They like to do a little bit of traps, a lot of stuff out of the shotgun. He can also, you'll also see here a little bit that he can run out on passes. Here's a short yardage situation here. You get to see a little bit of his lateral quickness and his ability to do jump cuts. Now, again, jump cuts are not only something that you do when you're lined up in front of a guy head to head. Jump cuts can also be used behind the line of scrimmage to create openings. Now, I want you to watch the feet here. I want you to watch just how well he uses this jump cut and this counter almost cut to be able to find a hole, get the crease, and get into the end zone. Right here, inside, outside, fights through and gets through, right? Stacked box inside the 5-yard line. He uses his jump cut ability. That is a great zone read type of player, a guy who can cut back, who can run counters, who can run traps. Here's another one, breaks through an arm tackle, gets up to speed. And again, once he's by you, good luck catching up. And we'll see how that translates over to college. But again, 10.99 track speed. He's a guy who's going to be able to outrun people at the college level too, trust me. Here, another trap outside. Great blocking here. Untouched, just relies on his speed. Even with the guy with a good angle on him, he's still able to make that play happen. 151 here. Arm tackle, fights through contact, keeps the leg moving. That's what I'm talking about, finishing the runs. He didn't give up. There's 3 guys on him. Breaks an arm tackle, keeps driving his legs, and finishes the touchdown. All right. Here's a play I like here because he's going to, you see a lot of strong side runs, right? Now he's going to the weak side of the field. So his ability to be able to find creases even on the weak side of the field when everybody's going that direction. We'll let this run here. Finds an opening, gets to the sideline, good balance there, and is able to go, they don't push him out of bounds. He's able to keep the sideline. He keeps the red line. We call that red line in the receivers when you're about 3 yards from the the out of bounds marker. That's called the red the red zone, where they, not the red zone in like in sense of the 20 and the 20-yard line, but the red zone in terms of you don't want to let somebody force you into that area, right? Because then they have the ability that at that point you're at their mercy, right? You have every right to fight for those, that sideline to make it yours. You want to control that sideline. And what he does here, he doesn't let himself get too far outside. He keeps it within enough to where he's not going to get pushed out of bounds. He's able to run through this arm tackle and gets up to speed and is able to close the run off. Now, this is the last one I'm going to show you here. And let me pull it up here. Sorry about that. At about 250. All right, here's one here I want to show you as well. So this is showing his receiving ability. Not only his receiving ability, again, he's wide open here, but I want you to see the lateral quickness. I do not like how he did go backwards on this play, but you'll see a little bit of him in the open field here. Again, just a little bit of a different look at how he looks in the open field. So gets up to speed down the sideline. He's able to make that guy miss, spins out of that. That strength, lateral quickness, gets around that guy, gets his block set up. I believe he was caught from behind there. That's what you don't like about him running backwards. You would almost like to see him just get vertical and just see how many yards he can fight for after that. Now, this is the last play I wanted to show y'all. This is a play here where he is going out to receive a pass. Now, this is a broken play. You'll see him get open downfield and be able to be an outlet for his quarterback. So quarterback rolls out to the left. You see Parker coming free over the top, just sticks with the play and is able to find an opening and play to the whistle. He was able to get his quarterback an opportunity to get rid of the ball. Not only that, the play was broken. He was able to go in for a touchdown. Now that is football IQ. That is alertness. That is being aware of where you're at in the field and what you need to do as a player. You know, he could have just chalked it up like some of these other receivers did, but he kept running. He realized there was an opening behind, he found the void behind the defensive backs and was able to slide in there and make the catch. Okay. So that is his film. Now let's go over a little bit of the pros and cons and the player comp. So before I bring this graphic up, drop in the comments, pause the video. Who do you think that he reminds you of currently in the Nebraska running back room? All right. You did that? Cool. So pros here: speed, vision, quickness, lateral quickness included, receiving, versatility, scheme fit. Now, when I say scheme fit, again, Nebraska, I did a Broderick Scholl film study, and Broderick Scholl is one of those zone read type of offensive tackles. Nebraska does want to run a lot of zone read. They want to run a lot of stuff out of shotgun, counters, traps, etc. So he does fit the scheme very well. He's also very versatile. Nebraska wants to run that, San Francisco 49ers positionless offense. He's a guy who fits that, as he can slide over in the slot, like I said before. Cons: size. He needs to put on a little bit more weight. 180 pounds, 185 pounds is not going to do it at the collegiate level. So he's going to have to just put on a little bit of size, 15, 20 pounds, 25 pounds, maybe not 25, but like maybe 15, 20. The physicality, it's not there's a lack of physicality. It's just when you average 11.2 yards per carry and you are explosive as he is, you don't get to see it a lot on film. So I do want to see how he goes in terms of, when he has to face a very physical team. You got teams like Rutgers out there, Illinois. Those teams are physical teams. So it's not necessarily a con. It's more of kind of an unknown just because we don't see it on his film. Now, competition, again, averaging 11.2 yards per carry. These teams are stacking the box on him, and they're still unable to track him down and get him, within their grasp. So Jamarion Parker is a guy that they schemed for in school, but the level of competition in Missouri, not the highest. So, and that's no knock on him. All he did was take care of business with the people they put in front of him. So these are cons because, in a lot of highlight reels, you don't get to see the bad plays. So when we look into this stuff, we got to keep that in mind as I go through the film. I look for strengths, but the cons aren't always there to be found. I have to look a little bit deeper and try to find some other film on these guys to be able to locate some of these cons. So a lot of these are unknowns just because he hasn't had to do it, but these are things that Nebraska is very key on. Physicality, something they practice very, very hard. Now, player comp, as you can see there, Quentin Ives, a little bit of a different player. Quentin Ives, playing out of New Jersey, physical style of football jersey, had a little bit more physicality that we knew of coming out of high school, but very similar to Jamarion Parker in that they want to get him to the outside. They want to get him in space, get him jump cutting. And once he's past you, he's past you. So, all right, well, that'll do it for me here on Jamarion Parker. Again, a lot of y'all click out of the video for the last 30 seconds. So I'm going to try something different. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.